Hey guys, Brian from Boas here. Well, I was just doing my evening checks of all my boas, and it looks like my first dwarf boa locality litter of 2022 is here. This is a Tarahumara mountain dwarf boa, and I'm really excited. This is one of my favorite dwarf locality boas. I haven't produced these in a couple of years, so it's great to have some babies on the ground. So this is a second generation breeding. These are both holdback animals, a holdback female and a holdback male born in my facility. So let's go take a quick look and see what we have. Well, I was just doing my nightly checks of my snakes before bed, and this female Tarahumara has given birth. You can see she's a real small animal. She's 5 years old and maybe not even 4 feet long. So I can see some babies there. So what I'm going to do is get her out, give her a soak, take a look at the babies. So this is a first time litter for her. And so pretty psyched because I haven't had Tarahumara babies in a couple years. So it's nice to have some on the ground. And she was actually bred to, this is a holdback female that I bred to a holdback male from a different litter. So some next generation baby Tarahumara boas. So the female is out and now she's soaking in some lukewarm water. Just gave her a quick exam to make sure she was done with having her litter, and which she is done. She looks quite deflated, and it looks like there's 5 babies here. You can see 2 of them are kind of moving around in the back, and then these 3 look like they're still in their amniotic sacs. You can see this little guy right there is kind of trying to break out of his amniotic sac. So they look good. I don't see any slugs or stillborns, which is always good. Relatively small litter, not surprising with a first time Tarahumara that's not even probably 4 feet long. So what I'm going to do is just get these guys out and put them into a 14-gallon Sterilite tub with some moist paper towels. Thought I'd get some quick close-up footage. You can see this little guy is trying to break out of his amniotic sac, and then his sibling right behind him is still in the sac, but looks like his head is poked out. And then there's another sibling that's kind of partially out. No, he's actually fully out of the sac. What's kind of interesting and unusual about this litter, there's not too much goo. No, it was only 5 babies. There's no slugs. So it might be like the cleanest litter I've ever seen, actually. I can see just a little bit of a little blood and mucus, but that's about it for the goo. Really clean litter. And here's a little guy just kind of cruising around. Him, and there was one other one that was cruising around right next to him. So it looks like 5 babies, but I'm just going to carefully put my fingers through all of this substrate, just make sure there's none hiding underneath. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean out the tub, put in fresh substrate, and then put the mother back in. And also get these babies in their own separate enclosure. Here's a quick look at these guys in the tub. And actually, as I was going through the bedding, I did find a 6th one that was buried under the bedding. And so it looks like we got a half a dozen of these beautiful little baby Tarahumara boas. Just love the patterns on these guys. And you can see how little they are. They're kind of feisty though. One of them actually took a swipe at me and bit me on the finger as I was taking them out. It actually didn't even draw blood. I could feel the teeth, but no blood. They're just almost kind of comical. And here's the close-up. You can see more of the goo kind of came off of them as I was taking them out. And this little guy is already trying to make his way out. So I'll just get the lid on in the sack, make sure this guy doesn't escape on me. These Tarahumara are one of my favorite locality boas. Just love the small size and the beautiful patterns. And I like their personality also, so it's really cool to have this litter on the ground after a couple years without producing any. Really cute little baby Tarahumara boas. The female's done soaking and She's back in her tub with some nice fresh bedding. She looks pretty good. A little bit deflated. But really a tiny little female. You can see there's my hand for size comparison. I'd say she's barely 4 feet long. I'll show you the father in a few scenes, but the father is actually a year younger than her, and father's probably about 3.5 feet. He might be my smallest boa to reproduce, actually. And so this is a second generation Tarahumara dwarf boa breeding from a 2017 and 2018 holdback. And we'll just give this female some time to just rest and recover. I'll feed her a rat tomorrow morning. I'll just leave you with a look at her pretty head markings. It's been a while since the babies were born, so I just came to check on them and just changed the paper towels, got rid of some of that old goo. You can see they're kind of piled up in the corner as they usually do, safety in numbers. You can see a beautiful little pile of dwarf mini boa constrictors. Really happy about these guys since it's been quite a while since I produced them. You can see a close-up of their patterns. These guys just have the greatest patterns and just love their dark coloration, and they actually do have quite a bit of color to them. It's a little more subtle than some of the other boas like the two red tails, but they have a lot of pinks and sometimes greens and even blues, especially on the side, and they also have a really beautiful iridescence. So just a really cool dwarf locality boa from northern Mexico. And just another more close-up, you can see the head markings. These guys have a distinctive head markings with typically a cross on the head. It's not always complete, but they usually do have that dark head marking. I thought I'd pick this guy up for the camera so you can see his side and the pattern and maybe a little bit of the color, although they don't really show much of their color until they shed. You can see he's also got his umbilical cord still attached. It's kind of dried out, but that's going to fall off pretty soon. You know, at the very latest it'll fall off when he sheds. These guys will stay in this sterilite 14-gallon tub for about a week until they go to their separate enclosures. And as you can see, I've added a water dish. Even though they probably won't drink, it does raise the humidity. And I also will, mist them regularly over the next few days just to keep them moist. You can see there's just a basic heat mat underneath that's set to maintain a temperature in the upper 80s. And these guys just love chilling out and enjoying each other's company. I'm going to leave you guys with a look at the father of the litter. So this is a 2018 born male, so he's about 4 years old. And so you can see this guy is maybe 3.5 feet. He's definitely a little tiny guy, maybe my smallest breeder ever, honestly. In fact, when I was a kid, I had garter snakes that were bigger than this. So, anyone who tells you that boas are giant snakes, really needs to look more into, how big these animals really get. So this guy is actually a half sibling to the female that was the mother. They have the same father, different mothers. The mother of this guy had a lot of pink, and this guy was selected for all of his pinks. I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but he's got a lot of pinks. He's got this kind of nice tannish caramel ground color. And I also like about this guy, he's got this great, circle back pattern with a lot of saddles. Just a really cool looking animal. So, hopefully some of the babies will get the pink that this guy has, because it's definitely a cool look. So, chill guy. This guy is, I really enjoy handling. I like handling the Tarahumaras because they don't move around a whole lot in comparison to some of the other boas. So they're good to just take out and, chill with for a bit. And really happy with this litter. So yeah, these babies I'm going to try feeding after they shed, so that'll probably be in about a week and a half or so. We'll get a few meals into them, see how they're doing, and then some of them will be available. So if you're looking to get a Tarahumara mountain dwarf boa, stay tuned to the channel, and I'll give you guys some regular updates. They'll probably be available a couple of months from now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, shoot me any questions or comments you may have. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your boas.